This is the secret formula of Dubai. We don't focus on any of that negativity. We focus on bringing value to everyone. We focus on building the ecosystem. We focus on the use cases that will deliver value. The focus is on the results. Our fabric is always and always will be working together towards achievable goals in a systematic way.
We can talk about the creation of all this beachfront property, the innovations, the blockchain technology, but at the end of the day, it's about people and about hope. That's ultimately what you're selling.
Hope is the greatest power in the world.
How does this mentality spring up in a place that used to be a place where there was pearl diving?
We were 7 small emirates with very, very small resources. All of a sudden, we got good wealth, good prosperity, good infrastructure, good leadership, and we're holding on to that. We want to genuinely not go ever back to not being together. It's called the United Arab Emirates. We are Arabs and we are Emirates, but we are first and foremost united.
This mentality, do you think you will show the world somehow that maybe this can be the standard?
We believe by doing things that we believe are right, leading by example, showcasing that we can do it. Imagine waking up having the positive energy and understanding that, okay, today I have a mission, and this is what I'm looking for. It's very structured, it's very looking forward. When you focus on yourself and you focus on your family and focus on moving forward in life.
If you improve yourself, the rest of the world will see what you do and they'll want to follow. How can you contribute towards humanity? The solution is to build something great.
A lot of people in Dubai are financially stable because they have a job, they have a roof over their head. You go to sleep, not worrying about your personal security, not worrying about your transaction being blocked, not getting your next paycheck. Imagine living in a world that this is not an issue. Wouldn't that world be an amazing place to live in? We can do much more as humans.
The world is changing. Inspiration is everywhere. It has never been so easy to connect, share, and bring people together. We're learning from others and finding the best in ourselves. Challenging our beliefs. Sharing our vulnerability. Overcoming our fears. Transforming ourselves so we can transform the world. How far can we go?
This is London Real. I am Brian Rose. My guest today is...
This is London Real. I am Brian Rose. My guest today is Dr. Marwan Alzarouni, the keynote speaker, strategic advisor, and passionate advocate of blockchain technology. You are one of the Middle East's most well-known crypto pioneers and have been at the forefront of supporting and promoting blockchain technology within the region for nearly a decade. You are the CEO of the Dubai Blockchain Center, which brings together thought leaders, developers, investors, and educators all under one roof. You're also the strategic advisor to the Dubai Department of Economy and Tourism, with the goal of making Dubai the smartest and happiest city in the world. Cointelegraph named you in the top 100 most influential people in crypto, and you have said it is imperative that we build sustainable and responsible blockchain and artificial intelligence. Your aim is to make the UAE the global leader in technology innovation and Dubai among the top 3 economic cities globally by 2033. You believe we must push the boundaries and push each other to work tirelessly in order to make Dubai the greatest city on the planet. Dr. Marwan, welcome back to London Real in Dubai.
Thank you, Brian. Thank you again for having me back. It seems surreal that last time we talked, you were just exploring Dubai and just literally fascinated by everything that is in Dubai. And fast forward to today where you've experienced Dubai over the last 13 months and you have a totally different perspective and a really kind of your own take on Dubai as well. So it's really exciting for me to talk to you and hear about your experience as well.
Yeah, well, our first conversation was, I think, 2 or 3 days after I met you at GITEX, which is kind of the biggest technology conference in the world. And we sat down, I think, right in one of the booths that you had in Digital Dubai and had this conversation that we called, we ended up calling the Merchant of Hope, because that's what you named Dubai. And I was very new. I was making observations, very curious about the place and the interactions I was having with the people. But I think at one point I said, am I moving to Dubai? And you kind of laughed out loud. And now here I am. I'm spending the entire month of January here. We have the London Real studio here, and we're talking to the most important people in this city. And everything seemed to have changed. So I can't wait to talk about my experiences with you and, what this place is all about. That term, merchant of hope, it really stuck with me when you said that about Dubai, because we can talk about the buildings. We can talk about maybe the fact that it's the only fully digitized city in the world. We can talk about, the creation of all this beachfront property, the innovations, how it attracts people all over the world, the blockchain technology. But at the end of the day, I guess it's about people and about hope. And I thought it was a really bold statement that you said, you guys are the merchants of hope. That's ultimately what you're selling. And I meet people from Pakistan, from America, from Europe, from Asia, from Australia. Everyone is here. What did you mean when you said you are the merchant of hope?
You see, we live even worse than last year when we talked, actually, in an environment and a world that is like filled with conflict. A lot of people don't want to get involved in conflicts. A lot of people don't want this controversy. A lot of people don't like politics, don't like all the other issues that people talk about. Even when they're prosperous as a nation or as a state, we don't focus on any of that negativity. We focus on the positivity. We focus on what people look forward to. And this is the secret formula of Dubai. Getting the best out of people, getting people to be productive, providing them with the right environment, the right circumstance, the right enablers for them to deliver their best. Not only for them to wake up every day looking forward to tomorrow, but also ignoring all the differences they have with everybody else, whether it is a colleague at work or whether it is some issue with politics or religion or any other difference. No, you wake up, you have a goal in life, you have something to look forward to, something to look and raise your children looking forward to, is improving yourself incrementally, improving your inner surrounding, your sphere of influence, improving your city, improving the nation, which is the UAE, improving the world after that as well. And you see, every single incremental success you get is fuel for you to do even better.
It's fascinating because right now in America, there's a very divisive presidential election. In London, where I live, there's a very divisive two-party system between, Labor and Conservative. And the list goes on. And in the past 5 years, 10 years, politics has turned into entertainment and media. And every front page of every newspaper is about someone who said something or did something or is being prosecuted, and about issues from the left and the right and in the middle. And it's just this engine of anger and hate that seems to dominate. And I don't even know if we know why we're doing this and engaging in this behavior. I guess because it's supposedly this quote unquote democracy, this great system. But like you said, it pulls us into this negativity loop that has nothing to do with our families, with the future, with our businesses, with making the world a better place. And in Dubai, that doesn't exist. And that's intentional.
Yes, and actually in Dubai, it's illegal for you to hurt somebody over social media. It's illegal for you to take a picture of somebody without their consent. And even in public places and a lot of other places in the world, if you are free in perceived public places, you are free to take a photo of anybody. For us, we consider it invasion of privacy and invasion of personal space if you're taking a picture of somebody without their permission. So these kind of soft things that give you a comfort to go around without expecting people to bother you, without expecting people to try to solicit you to something. It's all adds up to this kind of a environmental kind of safety and environmental perception of safety as well. When you're walking down the streets, when you're shopping in a mall, nobody's like paparazziing you here. You don't see that. Even the celebrities are much more comfortable in taking pictures because people ask for permission always. It's not because they are courteous or polite, because this is the system of Dubai. This is how we grew up. This is how we are accustomed to actually respect the boundaries of people, respect that they are people after all. Even celebrities, even famous people, and everybody comes and approaches you with dignity, approaches you with respect, approaches you even if they disagree with you. And I've seen your interview where the Mario Nofel, when he was saying that he cannot go to certain places in the world because he doesn't feel safe. But in Dubai, he can walk around safely, he doesn't get harassed, and it looks just like a given. But there's a lot of work, a lot of laws, a lot of, culture that comes with it. And it's not only culture at work, but culture in Dubai in general. Tourists feel more comfortable in bringing their kids to the beach because there is no public showcase of intimacy on public beaches. So you can bring your kids anywhere. You can bring your kids. There are also adult-only places where kids are not allowed. So there's a place for everything, and there's a place and time for everything, and there's expectations that are aligned. What you expect as a tourist, what you expect as a tourist with family members, what you expect as a person shopping in a mall. There is no public display of fighting either. There's no fighting. There's no cursing. There's no, even when you're driving, you cannot curse at people and driving. So all these kind of things create this kind of environment where everybody's focused, laser focused even on work, on family, on getting those things aligned and the priorities right. They're not focused that, today somebody cut me off, or today somebody harassed me on social media or bullied me in school or did any of this stuff, because it's not an issue.
And I've noticed that because I've been here for weeks and I'm walking around thinking, what would my walk be like if I was in London? In London, I might have to worry about a group of, drunken Brits after a football game, yelling, being aggressive, catcalling women. I might have to worry about the homeless people and falling over them or them asking for money. I might have to worry about, all these things that now I don't even worry about. And after a while, it really does change your entire mental state. And here it's just not an option. It's not allowed. You almost know it's not allowed even without reading the rules on the side of a building. It's like you start to realize that's just not okay. And here's the thing that's interesting, Dr. Marwan, is that people in the West say, well, we're free. We have our freedom. Okay, well, what is your freedom? Does your freedom mean that there are no rules? Does your freedom mean that you can, like you said, the paparazzi get in your face, you can verbally assault people? Or with a set of rules, does that actually make you more free? And that's what this place feels like. And the West can say, oh, we have a democracy, we have a free press. First of all, you don't. And second of all, it's an illusion of freedom to a certain extent. And when you really start to drill down into it, again, look at the results. Again, what is the user experience?
100%.
It's clearly not working because, I feel safe in a lot of cities, but that's because I can protect myself. But a lot of people don't, and they can feel, dominated. They can feel uncomfortable, and it just doesn't happen here. And I know it's not easy, and I know you're a police officer as well, and so you have an intimate knowledge of what it takes to keep this place safe.
Yeah, so it's environmental security, number one. Number two, perception of security. Like I said, there's a lot of soft power being at play here. I'll give you an example. You mentioned the Dubai police, for example. Dubai police in the early days used to have much more muscular people, much with machine guns, with a lot of other stuff that even when you see them, you're intimidated. Even the airport there, we had people with machine guns. Some airports in the world have people with machine guns. We got rid of all of that. All the police people here in Dubai are very soft-spoken. They're not authoritative. So even when they stop you at the traffic stop, they're not very aggressive. They're not aggressive at all. They are overly friendly, actually, to the point that they say, is this even a police officer? It's too polite, So these kind of things make a huge difference on how you perceive security here. When you are in trouble, they pop up out of nowhere, it seems like, right? They are there. You have the perception of if something bad happens, there are people that actually will take care of it. Their police will come up very quickly. The ambulances, the fire services, all very swift, very quick. And they're time-based and their operations are optimized to the maximum. And they get KPI for the amount it takes on the phone, the amount it takes to respond to you, and all this other stuff.
Now,
and it gives you that perception, again, very softly.
Now, there's an expression, speak softly, but carry a big stick. So the user experience is a soft experience, but at the end of the day, you have a big stick and you will take somebody to the airport and they will never come back if they start violating rules. Or do I have that wrong? But it does feel like there's consequences here. And I guess there has to be.
Yeah, like I mentioned, the social media, for example, there's no social media harassment. You can sue anybody that talks bad about you on social media, tries to defame you, if you curse anybody, even in a private chat, even in a WhatsApp group, even in any kind of perceived private space. Harassment is harassment. You harass somebody, I have the right to report you.
Okay, got it. And so, but the user experience is one of empathy. So the rules are strong, but the experience is soft.
Yes, and you don't leave room for people to literally be abusive on any kind of basis. You know, abuse is not, there's no excuse for abuse.
Right, and it stops immediately at the smallest point, so it doesn't get more.
Yeah, and like you said, the big stick is in the law that you understand that, okay, this is not allowed. It's not somewhere, an environment that is tolerant to this. There's zero tolerance for violence. There's zero tolerance for racism. There's zero tolerance for sexism, for any kind of, harassment based on ethnicity, orientation, or anything else. You do whatever you want to do. You have your personal freedoms. Nobody's allowed to harass you in any way. And if they do, you have the right to sue them.
Right. Let's talk about something else, because I came here for the Future Blockchain Summit in October. The event was timed to happen literally days after what happened in Gaza and with Israel. And you told me that there was, I think, an Israeli citizen that was uncomfortable about coming here and being in Dubai or even sharing a stage with someone from Palestine. And I think a couple of people actually canceled their trips. And I know you told me, and maybe you told them, that there's no need for them to do that because this is Dubai. And you pride yourself in the fact that in that situation, an Israeli and a Palestine could be on the same stage and there will be no issue. There will be 100% safety. Can you talk about that? Because you seemed very passionate when you told me that. And again, as you said before, this is a tough neighborhood. I mean, just look around us. There's conflict. There's lots of nations. There's things happening. And yet in this pocket, this oasis of Dubai, because of your rules, it doesn't happen here. Can you explain?
Yeah, and the example was one of the exhibitions here. We had a person who was coming from Israel to Dubai for the launch of their company here in Dubai. And first he was hesitant, but they ended up actually coming here and doing the speech that they had to do. Out of respect, of course, they canceled any party or any other thing because of the situation. It was very early days of that situation in Israel and Palestine. So, but the same guy actually employs Arab Muslim people within his company as well. It's a multinational company as well. And the guy who went on stage with me on stage actually was a Muslim guy actually representing that company. So it is Dubai is a land of tolerance. It is a land of living, coexisting, and putting our differences aside and focusing on delivering results, focusing on, like I mentioned, hope. And it's a true story, and you can check, you can back check the story. And I don't want to name the company, of course, or the people, but it is the true story that happened in an exhibition. And I was on stage with the guy that actually represented the company.
And I was flying from London, and a couple of people asked me, "Is everything going to be okay in Dubai?" And I didn't really think about it, but when I was here, there was no issue whatsoever. There was no feelings. There was no anything going on. That everybody was in a bubble of safety here. Contrast that if we had had this conference at Harvard or at MIT, where I went to school, or University of Pennsylvania, or other American cities. You could argue that there they would have experienced problems, hate, discrimination. Like that could have easily happened in any of those other cities. And yet it didn't happen here.
Yeah, again, it is because we in Dubai are very tolerant. We understand that there is conflict in different places in the world. We understand that there are people that their livelihoods are changed. There are people who lost family members, and we are sensitive to that. But today, the Dubai is not the stage for conflict. there's a stage for conversation, open conversation, yes, but not to put our emotions and physical violence in space. Yes, we can talk about situation. Yes, you can support whatever cause you think you can support on social media. You can, of course, express your opinion without imposing it on other people.
How do you stay safe in this region? How do you stay neutral in this region? Because if you look at the map, it's a pretty interesting group where Strait of Hormuz is right there. You have Iran. We're next to Saudi. We're next to Yemen. We're not far from the Red Sea, which of course connects Israel and Palestine. And there's a lot going on around here. There's warships around. It's really fascinating. If you look at the map, we are in the center of a lot of conflict, a lot of action. How does the UAE stay neutral? Because it's one of your greatest exports: hope, safety, maybe business. How do you do it?
Focus on the positives. It's very easy. We live in a tough neighborhood, and if you live in a tough neighborhood, you follow your path. You have your KPIs, you have your performance criteria, you have the goals to look forward. Again, hope is the greatest power in the world. Looking forward to tomorrow, not worrying about the external factors. A lot of the people who look at conflict as their main driver, you imagine waking up every day and have nothing on your mind but conflict, and nothing on your mind but sadness or hate towards a person because of his politics, polarization based on religion, on any other factor. Imagine waking up not having any negative energy. The opposite of that is having the positive energy, and every day waking up and understanding that, okay, today I have a mission, this is what I'm looking for. It's very structured, it's very looking forward. All the other stuff could happen in the world, of course, but your focus is still on your family, your health. You reorient yourself and focusing on things that you have an effect on. You might not have an effect in a conflict, even 10,000 kilometers away, or 20,000, or 100 kilometers, or in another, universe. What you have an effect on is your immediate family, your work, your environment. You're educating people around you, educating yourself about the conflict or any other thing. You can, and I'm not saying you can't, but there are things that are tangible that you can focus on to make a difference in your own circle, rather than trying to, talk about it. Talking to people about it and really trying to flip their opinion shouldn't be your agenda, because the success rate of that and the influence of that could be there, but they are much more likely to have a better effect and have a much more positivity when you focus on yourself and you focus on your family and focus on moving forward in life incrementally, rather than trying to persuade somebody to your opinion.
I always say that Dubai is very London real, and I've had about 1,000 conversations over the last 12 years, and I speak to people and they talk about being kind of in a low energy vibration, like where you're in the state of hate and you're projecting all of your problems on other people, on other things. It's a victim mentality. It's their fault. Or you can kind of take a higher state of vibration where you kind of take extreme ownership of everything. You focus on yourself. And if you improve yourself, the rest of the world will see what you do and they'll want to follow. How can you contribute towards humanity? How can you push yourself beyond your boundaries in order to get better? Find out what's out there. David Goggins, the U.S. Navy SEAL, says most of us quit at 40%, as in we have so much more that we can give. That feels like something, His Royal Highness would say here, or something you would say. And so this city is very interesting because it has so many parallels with some of the great parts of humanity that I've been able to uncover with this show. The problem with some of that negative energy is it can become very addictive. You wake up in hate. Hate gives you an emotion, and it's very easy to repeat that loop. It's someone else's fault why you're not innovating. Oh, I'm going to go get those people today. And you can fall into these really negative loops and never go anywhere, but that's not the solution. The solution is to build something great. And do you want your children in those same hate loops? Do you want those children in those same lack of ownership loops, victim loops? Or do you want them creating great people and great things? And it's a real question to ask people, because you seem like you embody that mentality here. I had a thought this week, and I'm curious what you think. For me, that Dubai, in a way, feels, in a good way, a bit like a cult, a bit like a group of people that say, you know what, we don't want to live in the world where your values seem to be this, and this. We want to think a different way. And we want to be around each other, and we want to set up our own kind of rules, and we want to go do things differently over here. And we feel comfortable here, and we want to be a part of this way of thinking, and I kind of walk away from the other part of the world. What do you think about that analogy?
I think you mentioned that the leadership in Dubai is amazing, number one. Number two, they push us actually. So they are the great motivator. You mentioned that it is a way of living, right? It's a mentality. And mentality comes actually from our culture, it comes from our religion, it comes from a lot of other influences, it comes from experiences we've had in the past. It was not always, amazing in Dubai. We've gone through a lot of hardship in Dubai. A lot of my father and grandfather, as early as that, had a lot of hardships growing up, a lot of friction and getting to work. I saw a documentary a couple of days ago where it took hours to go from one emirate in the northern Emirates just to come to Dubai. Hours, almost days sometimes, because there were no roads, and it was a tough journey, and a lot of people did not make it. And a lot of times, during these kind of travel between different emirates. And coming from that hardship and understanding that the prosperity we got very quickly and relatively speaking compared to other places, we appreciate that. Another thing that intrinsic to every single Emirati is unity. We know that together we can do more. We were 7 small emirates with very, very small resources. All of a sudden, we got good wealth, good prosperity, good infrastructure, good leadership, and we're holding on to that. We're holding out to that hope again. We're holding on to every single success that we have. We want to genuinely not go ever back to not being together, not ever go back to being, separated from each other. No matter how much competition we have, that does not ruin our fabric. Our fabric is always and always will be working together towards achievable goals in a systematic way. You said that it's so extreme, some people might compare to a cult. It is not a cult, it is unity. Unity is what brings us together. It's called the United Arab Emirates. We are Arabs and we are Emirates, but we are first and foremost united. It's not only Emiratis that feel this way. Every Arab person, every Muslim person that lives in the UAE feel at home. Some people used to call it second home. A lot of people call it first home now. They love it more than their own country. Not because of the physical location, but because of the mentality and the mental state that they feel when they are here in the UAE.
What about the foreigners? Do they feel the same way?
100%. Because they agree to the idea of the UAE. It doesn't matter what religion you are. It doesn't matter where you come from. When you live in the UAE, you very quickly consider yourself an ambassador of the UAE, right? You just received your golden visa. Wasn't that a proud moment?
I was so proud. I was going to tweet out my ID, but I realized I had my information on it, and so I didn't. But it was a huge day. I was yelling and screaming. It's a big deal. I feel honored to be part of this incredible idea and this ethos and this thing that is Dubai and the Emirates. It's a huge deal. And every single foreigner that's here, I think you have secretly given them a contract with the Minister of Tourism, because all they do is talk about how great Dubai is. And all they do is tell everybody else that this is the greatest place on earth. And I liken it to Tesla. Elon Musk doesn't do advertising for Tesla. He just builds the greatest car in the world. And when you have the greatest product in the world, which is the experience of living in Dubai or having, the ability to stay here at a long period of time, then that customer experience is so strong that then you just talk about it to everybody else.
100%. And we just won, not surprisingly, but I'm very, very, very humbled and very honored actually for us in Dubai to win for the 3rd year in a row the TripAdvisor best destination in the world, tourist destination in the world, as voted by people, and that's exactly what you just said, because people are our best ambassadors. Tourists who come here review us genuinely in a positive way because that's how they experienced Dubai, and they loved it. And beats London, by the way.
Yeah, I just saw that. 3 years in a row, you've got that.
Yes.
And now it's the third most visited destination, third or fourth in the world? Something like fourth, I think it is.
I'm not sure about the numbers, but I'm sure 100% about the TripAdvisor, 100%. We won 3 years in a row, which is unprecedented anywhere in the world.
And again, you're all about the customer experience, which is the experience of the visitor or the citizen. And you run this place like a business, because that's how businesses run things. They always ask the customer, how did you do? Because they realize that without the customer experience, they will no longer exist at some point. But I've never been in a place that literally treats the person like a customer. I was telling someone when I was getting my ID, the person in the government, when they needed me to come back to get the picture, they gave me their WhatsApp, their personal WhatsApp. I told a guy there, I was at the Dubai Blockchain Center event you had a couple of days ago, and I told a lawyer, he came from Switzerland, and he said, what? And I said, yeah, because they wanted to make sure I had this really quick, low touch point experience. And that was what it was all about. When you're anywhere in Dubai, after something happens, they want to know, how did we do? When you land on an Emirates aircraft, as soon as it happens, how was the food? How was the service? How was everything? It's all about that feedback loop. I never see that anywhere else.
And it's an amazing machine, actually, that is Dubai. And you mentioned the feedback loop. The way we capture feedback loops is amazing. We have this happiness index that's live, actually. So every touch point you have in Dubai, you have these three faces, happy, neutral, or not, or unhappy. And we capture it almost live. So
let's talk about business. I was down at the government buildings a few days ago. There was a big conference, I think it was the Billion Follower Conference. And of course, I noticed again the 8 principles of Dubai. And I think those were kind of put forth by His Highness, probably many years ago. And they're all fascinating. They talk about the union, they talk about no one is above the law. They talk about the 3 factors that drive growth, the unique personality, the economic diversification, the land for talent, and how they care about future generations. But the one that I focused on was that we are a business capital. And I thought this was interesting because I don't know of any nation that literally has this in almost their founding principles. And it says the government of Dubai aims to improve the lives of its people through strengthening its economy. Again, no apologies there. In Europe, they apologize, I think, sometimes for their capitalist intentions. And it says Dubai does not invest or involve itself in politics and does not rely on politics to ensure its competitiveness. This is strong. It says we extend a hand of friendship to those who hold good intentions toward Dubai and the UAE. Dubai is a politically neutral, business-friendly global hub that focuses on creating economic opportunities. Speak on that, because those are strong words.
100%. And like I told you, external factors and politics and that kind of stuff, for us, we don't get involved in that. We focus on building relationships. We build interpersonal relationships, business relationships, private-public partnerships. A lot of the time, many models of success and businesses do not come in this like client versus server or commercial entity versus customer or B2B and B2C. The lines are vague sometimes, and sometimes the incentives are vague. So you need to really focus on how to bring value to everyone involved, to the customer, to the partner, to the private sector, to the education sector. And that's why even the ethos of the Dubai Blockchain Center is built in the same way. We do not focus on actual, money making or anything like that. We focus on bringing value to everyone. We focus on building the ecosystem. We focus on the use cases that will deliver value, whether it is to a government department, whether it is to a private sector, whether it is to educate people around the technology that's emerging. So the focus is on delivery. The focus is on the results. The focus on delivering value and value take from every single thing. When AI took off, we were one of the first people, if not the first people, to have AI initiatives coming up. We had the world's first AI minister way before ChatGPT and all these things took off. We have an AI ethics report that came out. We had metaverse white paper that came out on telling people how we perceive the value from the metaverse and how ethical projects in the metaverse can be and how we can work together in a blueprint that does not invade the privacy of people, that does create kind of silos and really empower us as a brand to showcase Dubai and Dubai values and different mediums, including and not limited to the metaverse and in gaming and other aesthetics. We have actually a yearly event with Al Amin service focusing on how do we keep Dubai ethically in the right space, how to create environmental safety for people as well. We focused 2 years ago on the metaverse. Last year we focused on gaming. We focused on AI as well. So every single year we try to see where the puck is when it comes to technology and where people are moving to, and trying to see where we align with that on the ethics front, on the governance front. How do we stand? And we wait for the feedback loop from academics, decision makers, regulators. We give it to all the government departments to hear their feedback as well and where they stand on different aspects. And this conversation is extremely important. A lot of people talk about AI and say AI is going this way, is going to be harmful and all the stuff. And other people talk in the other way. It's the greatest invention. It's the next, wave of evolution. Either is it one or other, we don't know. But we can put our thoughts on how we perceive the value from it and where we can use AI for good and use blockchain and cryptocurrencies for good. Of course, every single technology that we have, the first use cases are usually the first value takes is realized by criminals because it is new. Not a lot of people know about it. We had that with mobile phones. We've had that with blockchain technology, with Bitcoin as a cryptocurrency. We've had it with every single evolution or wave of technology. And we'll continue to have it. It's just, it will take time for us to realize the real value and make that not only mainstream, but ethical and have ethical uses of it and put the guardrails around it so we do not divert from that path, which is the path where we get the most value and minimize, not eliminate. There's no way we can eliminate all the harmful effect of any new technology. Doing that will actually help us a lot in realizing not only what we can do as humans, but what we can do for each other. For example, in AI, you can use it to create the world's most sophisticated weapon, or you can create the most efficient engine, or the best, PA or helper or white collar kind of supplementation. Where do we put our effort? In harm or in good? This is the bottom line. And if we wanted to guardrail this technology, how do we do it? What are the technologies that will help? How much money and effort and time should we put in that? Should we go to market very quickly with certain things versus others? And there's a lot of other ethical issues as well that can be discussed with this technology. It's very early days, but we have to start the conversation from now, because conversation is the only way we can bridge the gap. Otherwise, you'll think in your own way, I'll think in my own way. Everybody will perceive it in their own context. We need to align and we need to talk about the emerging tech.
And you're a huge proponent of not just talking about AI and talking about blockchain and throwing these buzzwords around, as sometimes governments do, without any results. For you, it's about, okay, that, then what is the practical steps, and then what is the feedback loop to where we can really find out if we can use this technology. And I know you were early in adopting blockchain for some things, and you were early in abandoning it in certain aspects of the government, because you're all about fast feedback loops and
100%.
real world use of these technologies.
100%. We started the blockchain strategy in 2016. We finished by 2020. We realized all the applicable use cases. AI, we started way before. We have the AI ethics committee in Digital Dubai. We have AI ethics white paper as well. We have a lot of other publications that came out. We got the feedback loop. We changed it. We have working groups all the time to deal with AI. We have a Center for Artificial Intelligence, which was launched by Sheikh His Sheikh Hamdan bin Mohammed, the Crown Prince of Dubai. And the use cases for that are already live. So there are a lot of pilots as well. There's a lot of other work groups that are realizing within each government departments and with a central entity hand holding each one of those use cases moving forward.
Let's talk about the big aspirations of this region. Literally, the tallest building in the world is kind of right down the road. You built, I think you told me, more new beachfront property than any nation in the world. The Palm Jumeirah, I get to look at every single day. And the other night, you drove me around another one of the man-made kind of islands that's pushing out into the sea. And I think I made a note of, wow, isn't what amazing you can build in the Emirates? And you said, no, Brian, we always collaborate with the best in the world. The Burj Khalifa was a collaboration. The Palm Jumeirah was a collaboration. And then you went on to tell me a story is that you found the best of the best to help you build your vision. And I think at the time for building the Palm Jumeirah, it was the Dutch and the Japanese, because the Dutch had been reclaiming land from the ocean for centuries, and the Japanese had built that airport, I think, in the ocean. And so you asked them to help you build the project. And I think the first feedback they gave you was, this is impossible, and you should just not bother. And I believe your reply was, we didn't ask for your opinion, we asked for you to help us build it. That is very Emirati, that attitude. Can you talk about that attitude, having these big, bodacious goals, these visions and dreams that last beyond a lifetime? And I still don't understand how everybody here seems to think of that as the default option when you dream of the future. Not 10% better, 20% better. Let's build the biggest and the best. And let's build things that it'd be hard to even dream of, and then show the world that we did it, and then continue going in almost this strange positive feedback loop. So it's a few questions, but your thoughts on what I just said.
Yeah, I'll give you a very good example. So Elon Musk himself, when he came to Dubai, he had this keynote at the footsteps of the Burj Khalifa. And in the middle of his talk, he was talking about Tesla statistics, numbers, what they're doing, and how impossible it was, and what people were saying as never going to happen. In the context of Tesla, and midway through his speech, he stopped and he looked. He's like, the Burj Khalifa, and he was like, "Wow, you guys get things done." So if we can impress Elon Musk as Dubai, I think Dubai is doing the right thing. I think to aim high and to aim to be the best, it sends a very soft message, but very strong signal that we mean business. And His Highness said it very, very, very clearly in the 8 principles. We are here to set new standards. We are here to be the business hub. We are here to drive you, to every single person here in the UAE, to wake up wanting to be part of the story, wanting to be a part of that narrative, that I am involved in this. The guy who was heading the Burj Khalifa project was not an architect. He was not. He worked in Dubai Economy and Tourism, where I work right now, and he built the world's biggest building. You don't need to be the world's best architect to build the tallest building. You just need motivation. You need insight. You need real good drive behind you. You need to try. You will try and you will fail and you will try again, because you are not occupied with doing anything else. You are really focused, laser focused even on getting things done, laser focused on your vision, laser focused on your goal, drive to do better. You are always driven to do what is best for you, what is best worldwide. Why aim for second best? You should always work towards first. There is no second place. This is a Dubai mentality. This is His Highness Sheikh Mohammed's mentality. You always aim for number one. You never aim for second place. Nobody thinks about second place.
You also said, don't compete with other people. You should be competing with who you were yesterday.
100%. You will set your own bar, right? It's world's tallest building. You should not compete with who else built the tallest building. Your aim is to build. This is your goal. It's not a competition.
There's a rumor you might have a building that might be bigger than your current tallest building in the works.
Why not? Why not?
Why not? You also said last time, and I think it was His Highness Sheikh Mohammed that once said, everybody here, when you wake up in the morning, you wake up and get ready to run. I think you said whether you're the lion or you're the gazelle, everyone is kind of expected to wake up and run. What did you mean by that?
Yes, and it's actually in His Highness's book, the President CEO. So the Sheikh CEO, I think it's called. It is the ethos of Dubai, right? You wake up, have goals in your mind, you sleep.
To continue watching the rest of the episode for free, visit our website londonreal.tv or click the link in the description below.